the
Hit any
code.
button. Rob's an idiot. We'll be back, everybody. It's Sports Kings Live. Oops, sorry. I guess I got to turn
I love
the
that
volume
right there, boy.
for the gangsters.
What's going on, everybody? It's your man, Big Mike.
Yep, and this is RC, Rod Calloway.
First of all, we'd like to thank everybody for being down with the Kings and for supporting Sports Kings Live.
Your listens, downloads, likes, and follows have allowed this show to grow by leaps and bounds in just a few months.
Now, if you have a product or a business and you'd like to promote it on this show,
it's simple. Just email us at sportskingslive@gmail.com. And once again, thank you for being down with the Kings.
Let's go! Yeah! Turn up! Turn up!
Gotta take this thing off of mute. I had it muted the whole time, Rob. So all they heard was Odell Beckham Jr. All right, in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Sports Kings Live, everybody. Big Mike, Rob Calloway. Yeah, we're still being idiots. Exactly. That's all we want you to do. We're on Spreaker, on the app as well for your Android and your iPhone, your Apple device, or whatever. Also, catch us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Sports Kings Live. All right, let's move on here. From old Caitlyn Jenner. What's supposed to happen? Is she supposed to do an interview or something too? I said let's move on, but I gotta know this too. I think I saw something about it. There's supposed to be like another interview that happens.
A follow up with Diane Sawyer, something like that.
I'm telling you, dude, if it's me, like you got to get the whole joint done, man. It's like you just can't take your old beat up bullet hole in it Bundoville and go get some 28s on that joint and then be done. Like I'm good. Nah, you gotta get the joint painted, interior. You know what I mean? You got to get the sound done in that joint, everything. Yeah. So if it's me, I got to get the voice box done. So now my joint is like, well, not like that.
Well,
that's
you got
terrible.
his balls cut off. That's where it starts.
Well,
you get your balls cut off,
see,
and then your voice starts to lighten on up.
You're an idiot. It's not a dog, dude. There's no way for you to know that, dude.
I promise
you. There's no way for you to know that. That's like cartoonish.
Ain't that what that's what testosterone brewed up at down there, right?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. Let's dip into the world. You know what? Before we do that,
he ain't got nothing brewing no more. What?
Let's get on this day out of the way.
It's the Sports King.
We know what happened.
On this day.
All right, before we jump into the world of the NBA, Rob just asked.
More balls.
Rob just
More
asked
balls.
Matt something in the chat room, so I want to get to that in a minute here. But here on this day in 1923, the New York Giants beat the Philadelphia Phillies 22-8. The Giants scored in every inning of the game. On this day in 1925, Lou Gehrig began a streak of playing in 2,130 consecutive baseball games. The streak ended on May 2nd, 1939. On this day in 1938, baseball helmets were worn for the very, very first time. 1938.
So I guess nobody was getting hit in the head prior to.
Yeah, of course they were, dude. Of course they were. And dudes was getting up like, shake it off, stop being a punk, get to first base. Yeah. On this day in 1941, Mel Ott hit the 400th home run of his career. He also drove in his 1,500th career run. On this day in 1975, Nolan Ryan pitched his fourth career no-hitter. He also drove in. Nope, sorry, went back to the top, to the one above it. In his 100th career victory. Dang, that's pretty cool. The Seattle Supersonics and the Washington Bullets, youngsters. Google it. On this day in 1980, Steve Garvey, that's the wrong guy. Not the black guy with the mustache. This is the white guy. Steve Garvey hit the 7,000th home run for the Dodgers. See, when I first read this, I was like, man, get the hell out of here. This is a typo. Ain't nobody hit no damn 7,000 home runs. But because I'm illiterate, I had to read it like 3 times to realize what it actually said, that it was the 7,000th home run in Dodgers history, which they probably could have written it better for people like me, but whatever. In 2012, Johan Santana, he threw the first no-hitter in Mets history, 8-0 over the St. Louis Cardinals. And finally, in 2014, the Los Angeles Kings beat the Chicago Black Sox to advance to the Stanley Cup Finals. It was the first time in NHL history that a team won a series in Game 7 on the road for 3 consecutive series. The definition, ladies and gentlemen, of road warriors. I got a couple seconds of hockey in this weekend. You know, this Blackhawks thing just reminds me. It was the Blackhawks against the Anaheim Ducks, I believe. Yeah, I watched a couple seconds of it, you know, and I turned it back once or twice to see what was going on. But I never could get that's the one thing I miss, like now. You know, for those of you who don't know, Rob and I at one point worked for the Thrashers Radio Network, but we worked
Mike,
in studio.
I said, do you believe?
We worked in studio. And
in Blue Land.
I'm a dude that I was interested in hockey, but everyone kept telling me, Mike, you got to see it because hockey's not a television sport. That's why it doesn't do well in the ratings, because it's a game you have to see in person. But, you know, being at the station when the Thrashers were playing, it was kind of improbable to happen. And then the team left. and there was that. Which, by the way...
Did Jeff Hodges go with him?
No, he was gone. He was gone before that. He was gone. Hodges was gone before that.
He's gone, like... Okay, so he left after I left.
Yeah.
Because he was there when I was there.
By the way, apparently they playing hockey in Tampa. Tampa and the Chicago Blackhawks. By the way, you can still tweet Go Hawks now. Atlanta Hawks fans, but you just be talking about a hockey team in Chicago. But the Blackhawks and the not Anaheim Ducks, the Tampa Bay Lightning are in the probably a good time to bail then. Something extraordinary happens during these playoffs, and we are forced to talk about it. What did I say? Oh, the NBA. Okay, so something's going on with this thing, Rob. It's a bunch of red stuff on my thing saying red on the program here. Fingers crossed, dude. Fingers crossed.
Saying red.
Yeah. You know, like red before it cut off. Oh, it's back blue now. All right, here we go.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Alvin Gentry, the associate head coach, not to be confused with an assistant coach. The associate head coach, formerly of the Golden State Warriors, is now the head coach of the New Orleans Pelicans and one Anthony Davis. He is said to be going there to bring some offense and up the pace of play. Excuse me, as well as get Anthony Davis more touch. I don't know if you guys noticed by watching the Pelicans in the playoffs. There were times there were like multiple trips up and down the court where the best player on the team, Anthony Davis, didn't touch the basketball, and I noticed that immediately. Like in watching the team, that's something that I picked up on immediately. So I'm guessing Alvin Gentry is going to go in there and find more and more ways as Anthony Davis continues to improve his game and expand his game to get him the ball and get him to be more of or have more of an impact on the win-loss record for the New Orleans Pelicans. As well, Fred Hoiberg is expected to be announced as the new coach of the Chicago Bulls on tomorrow. I don't know much about Fred Hoiberg. I read some things last week about him coming out of the.
I can tell you.
Oh, there we go. Let's go.
Well, Fred Hoiberg was a
Paper, take
part
some
of
notes.
Well, no, what I'm saying as a player, like I was telling you earlier, like I didn't realize who it was because I didn't even know the guy's name. But he played on those Indiana Pacers teams that were competing for that Eastern Conference championship. He wasn't on the team that won in 2000. He got traded to Chicago. Are you
using the word? Are you using the word "play" liberally? Like, was he on the team?
Yeah,
and you're just saying play.
He was one of those dudes, one of those specialists that came off the bench and gave you the three. That's what he used to do.
The code word for white guy.
Yeah, white guy. Exactly.
White guy off the bench equals specialist.
Yeah, but he, like I said, I really remember him with the Pacers. I don't really remember him so much with the Bulls, but I do know that he ended up playing with them. And as a college coach, I mean, from everything I hear, he's a player's coach.
He was also in the front office for the Minnesota Timberwolves as well.
Oh, yeah, because he played for them. He played for them, too.
I think he's the guy who drafted Ricky Rubio and some other Spanish kid that hadn't appeared yet in an NBA game. I think that's what got him fired, as a matter of fact. It was like somebody else that he should have drafted, like down here, the whole Chris Paul thing that happened down here. It happened in Minnesota, too, and he drafted some overseas guy that he knew wasn't going to come for a couple of years, if he did, and he didn't. He just stayed. So that's your Fred Hoiberg talk in a nutshell.
Yep.
Kevin Love says he's not opting out. Well, says he expects to be back in Cleveland next year, whatever the hell that means. And apparently, some unknown player re-injured the man's shoulder during the celebration of the Eastern Conference Championship. Yeah. I'm going to say his name rhymes with Piston Thomas. Or what? Yeah. Or wasn't it Thompson? Yeah, Thompson. Yeah, his name rhymes with that. Yeah. If I had to guess, I'm not saying any names, but one of the guys, he slapped me right on my shoulder and hugged me real hard. Yeah. Wonder who that could have been. Could have been the dude that's going to want a max deal. Exactly. How that shoulder doing? And just jab him in here real quick. Speaking of jabbing, I'm watching boxing for some reason right now. What's happening right now? All right.
What are you watching?
I don't know, dude. I'm not watching it anymore. Now, something that you just asked Matt about.
Oh, that's AD. That's Adrian Broner and John Molina.
Sweet.
That was the first week of Premier Boxing. When they made their debut.
Okay. Can I wake up now? The Hawks apparently are coming back next year, all squeaky clean and brand new, and they want your money. If I can, is that all right to say? Is that all right to say?
Yeah,
that's what this stuff is all
they
about.
Want your membership and your money.
Yeah, again, like this whole shout out to the Hawks, by the way, because what's my guy's name that got hired last year?
Steve Coonan.
He's a white guy, everybody, so I can still laugh. Wouldn't be that funny. Wouldn't be that funny every time if he was a black dude. It'd be funny like the first 10 times it'd be funny, but like probably about the 11th time you'd be like, hold on now, it's getting y'all saying that on purpose.
White radio would be getting the biggest kick out of it.
Right. Every day there'll be like a Steve Coonan segment. Like, wait a minute, he ain't even doing nothing today. I don't care. We just love saying the name.
Cooning around. It's like he'd have a segment and everything. Just cooning around. That's where like I'll take it right to the edge. Rob's like, F it, jump. Jump. Yeah. Oh, all right. In a press release from the, and you guys can find these logos if you hadn't seen them on Pro Basketball Talk, and I guess the title to this is Hawks Unveil New Logos. If you guys hadn't seen the logos for the brand new Atlanta Hawks, I mean, it's cool. I mean, I understand. It's a new marketing tool and it's something fresh going into next year after coming off such a good season. You kind of rebrand the situation, but not totally. You still keep it the same, but different. What does this thing say? The Atlanta Hawks Basketball Club. That's what it's being called now. Basically, it's the Hawks logo, the one that they came back with the Pac-Man joint that they reinvented last year. But now it's kind of in